the big one yesterday, which was Paris Saint-Germain against Bayern Munich. Paris Saint-Germain win 5-4. And what a game. I mean, first of all, to Bayern Munich and Paris Saint-Germain, thank you for giving an absolute and amazing of a football match. Thank you. Thank you, Paris Saint-Germain. Thank you, Bayern Munich. Thank you, Luis Enrique. Thank you, Vincent Kompany. Thank you, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Thank you, Ousmane Dembele. Thank you, Harry Kane. Thank you, Ulise. Thank you, Luis Diaz. Thank you to every single Paris Saint-Germain player, to every single Bayern Munich player. Because that was a brilliant football match. Listen, I think that was, in terms of quality, in terms of the quality, the talent, the football, the speed, the quality, the skill from both teams, you could say that was the best game of this decade. And I'm not even exaggerating. You could make an argument it was better than the World Cup final in 2022. You could make a good argument for that, because that was a brilliant game. Brilliant game. You could make an argument that was better than the AFCON final this year, because the AFCON final was great, but in terms of drama I'm talking about. But this was much better than, in terms of quality, than the final in AFCON, because that was a brilliant game. That was a brilliant game in terms of quality, in terms of two teams going at it, two teams going at it, looking in the eye. Like, none of them was scared to be like, okay, let's defend and two banks of four and then counter attack. No, these two teams went at it. They went at it and they fought and they fight and they pushed each other till the last minute. The Bayern had a great chance towards the end to equalize it. That was cleared of the line. It was a brilliant game. I mean, you look at the first 20 minutes, Bayern Munich started really, really well. They started really well. With the goal from Harry Kane, gave them the lead, which was a penalty in my opinion. Correct decision, 1-0 to Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich started the game really well in the first 20 minutes. After that, I thought Paris Saint-Germain were amazing after that. Were fantastic. Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, what a brilliant goal. That first goal, brilliant goal. The skill and the finish, amazing goal. Second goal, a brilliant corner, brilliant cross from Ousmane Dembele, and then a brilliant header from João Neves. 2-1. Michael Olise. Oh my God. What a performance from him. What a performance from him. Unbelievable. Like, the guy absolutely destroyed Nuno Mendes. He and Luis Diaz were cooking Hakimi and Mendes. That at the same time, even Hakimi and Mendes got cramp. And Mendes had to be subbed off. And Hakimi couldn't be subbed off towards the end because, PSG were out of, they already all the changes. Like, Paris Saint-Germain were really that good, especially, when after the Bayern Munich got the early lead, the goal from Harry Kane. They were absolutely fantastic. And yes, defensively, both teams could have been better. But if you look at all the goals that both teams scored, tell me which one of them you could say, oh, that was a clearly defensive mistake. Maybe you could make an argument Batcher should have done better for the goal of Upamecano. Other than that, all the other goals that Bayern Munich scored and Paris Saint-Germain scored came from quality. Very good quality goals. Came from skill. Came from the talent of the player, the quality of the player, the skill of the player. It came from that. And great team goals as well. Particularly Paris Saint-Germain. I mean, you look at the fourth and the fifth goal. Oh, wow! Ousmane Dembele, the fifth goal. I mean, oh my God, that was a phenomenal goal. That was a brilliant goal. And the celebration was cold. The goal was cold. The fourth goal, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, brilliant goal from him once again. I mean, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, his performances, for the most of this season, his performances for PSG were actually very poor. But you look at, Luis Enrique made a joke, I think, a week ago that said when he did well against Nantes, and he said the report asked him, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia seems to step up only on Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Luis Enrique said he thought it was the Champions League, and you have to give flowers to Kvaratskhelia performance, because his performance was absolutely amazing. Amazing. Brilliant performance from him. I mean, like, his performances, I would say, from the Chelsea game to this game, he's been absolutely amazing. He's been stepping up big time for PSG, scoring big goals, important goals, and he's been stepping up not only offensively but also defensively, because he's not only a player that can, score goals and contribute, but also he can track back, he can defend, he can work for the team, as he showed, anytime he's played for Paris Saint-Germain. Scored against Liverpool, scored against Chelsea, and now scored against Bayern Munich. Two critical goals. First goal, especially, brilliant goal, brilliant skill, brilliant finish, amazing. Absolutely fantastic. And PSG, like I said, they were fantastic. I mean, from the 20th minute to the 58th minute, they were absolutely tearing Bayern Munich apart. They were winning 5-2. They were tearing them apart. I have to say the penalty though was a bit soft. Not soft though. I mean, it was a bit harsh. Yes, it hit the hand of Alphonso Davies, but it hit his body and then his hand. I mean, and it was, it hit his hand accidentally, because when the ball went to the body first. So I think the penalty was a bit harsh in my opinion. Yes, sometimes it's the rules, and when the ball hits your hand, you have to give it as a foul. But you have to look at that and say, what was Alphonso Davies supposed to do? So I think that was a bit harsh to give it as a penalty. The Harry Kane one, when they gave it as a penalty, that was correct decision, because I thought, look at all different replays, that Batcher got the ball. When you look at more closely, he didn't get the ball. He tackled Luis Diaz, and then the referee gave it as a penalty, which was a correct decision. So yeah, and then it went back on. This game kept going back and forth, end to end. I mean, amazing. Like, after the Ousmane Dembele goal, Bayern Munich win 5-2, and maybe people saying Bayern Munich, PSG should have done better to close the game out. Yeah, maybe they should have done better to close the game out. I mean, they were winning 5-2, and at 5-2 you think like, yeah, this PSG side are going through to the final, and they have a great chance of getting to the final and winning the Champions League. Because if they can destroy Bayern Munich like that, imagine what they can do to Atleti or Arsenal in the final. Considering how well they did to Inter Milan in the final last season. But I won't say Paris Saint-Germain switched off, but you can clearly see they got a bit complacent. Not complacent, but like, you can feel like the PSG players were like, yeah, we're winning 5-2. Yeah, we've got this in the bag now. And I think Bayern Munich punished them for that. But you also have to give credit to Bayern Munich's character and personality, because being down to 5-2 must have been hard. Must have been hard for the players, for Vincent Kompany. It must have been really hard. It must have been like a kick in the teeth. But they show great character, and they bounced back really well, scoring the third goal from Upamecano. Great header from Upamecano, great assist from Kimmich, and the fourth goal. Oh wow! What a brilliant cross and brilliant assist from Harry Kane. Brilliant first touch from Luis Diaz, and a brilliant finish from him. That was a great goal for the fourth goal from Luis Diaz. It was offside, but then the VAR looked at more closely, and it was not offside. So it was offside, and the goal stood. I mean, that was a brilliant finish from Luis Diaz. Brilliant first touch. Brilliant cross from Harry Kane. Fantastic goal. 5-4, and you can clearly see Luis Enrique made some changes as well to close the game out. Actually, obviously he brought off Kvaratskhelia, he brought off Nuno Mendes because obviously he was tired. He brought in Lucas Hernandez. He made some changes to make sure he closed the game out, because yeah, I think he should have maybe done it. He realized maybe he should have done it after the 5-2, because to win 5-2 at home against Bayern Munich would have been absolutely terrific and been a great chance of getting to the final. However, again, it's not easy against a team like Bayern Munich, because they are a fantastic, top quality team. I would say though that Bayern Company made a mistake by bringing on Goretzka. I mean, he didn't do really well at all. I don't know why. I don't think it was the right decision to bring him on. Yeah, if you're gonna sub off, because if you look at Bayern Munich's benches, it isn't that great. They don't have Gnabry, for example. He's not in the squad. But if you're going to bring off, I think it was a mistake to bring off Musiala. I don't think Musiala had a great game, but I think it was a mistake to sub him off and to bring on Goretzka, because Goretzka, yeah, okay, he came on, but what did he add? Not much, really. So, yeah, I mean, defensively, you look at Stanisic and Davis, they got really cooked, and so has Mendes and Hakimi. But going forward, you look at Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, Zaya Douri, Ousmane Dembele, Harry Kane, Luis Diaz, Olise, they were breathtaking, absolutely breathtaking. I mean, you could say defensively both teams defensively should have done better, but if you look at all the goals that both teams scored, maybe except the goal that Upamecano scored, you can't really say it was really bad defending. So, again, like, amazing game. Thank you, Bayern Munich. Thank you, Paris Saint-Germain, for giving a terrific game. And Bayern Munich could have equalised at the end with the goal line clearance. It was a brilliant game. Fantastic game. I thoroughly enjoyed it as a football fan, and I'm pretty sure many neutrals enjoyed it. Brilliant, brilliant match. You look at Kvicha Kvaratskhelia performance. I mean, he's been absolutely terrific, especially for the last 3 months. And if I tell you right now, if the World Cup was not in this year, he would have a great chance of winning the Ballon d'Or this year. Because, no disrespect to Georgia, of course, but Georgia are not going to win the World Cup. And you know, if he was, because sometimes the Ballon d'Or, sometimes they give awards to players they don't deserve. Sometimes, no, they deserve it, but I don't think they deserve it than the one who should have won it. For example, Vinicius in 2024. I think if Kvaratskheilia's name was easier to pronounce, because people still find it difficult to pronounce, if his name was easier to pronounce, and he played for let's say a Spain or an Italy or a Germany or a top team, you know, like Spain, England, I think he would have a much better chance of winning the Ballon d'Or. But because he's from Georgia and because his name is harder to pronounce, probably it's going to be difficult for him to win the Ballon d'Or. But that's how it is. Sometimes Ballon d'Or. Sometimes you win the Ballon d'Or. Some players win the Ballon d'Or because they deserve it the most than the other player. But some players, they win the Ballon d'Or because of popularity. Because that's what the Ballon d'Or is. Let's be honest. But again, Kvaratskhelia, I mean, he's been absolutely terrific. Not only him. I mean, you look at the midfield. You look at João Neves. I thought his performance was brilliant. Also, he stepped up massively. Bacha, I think like he should have done better, especially where he gave away the penalty, and for the fourth goal as well, where the third goal where Upamecano scored that header. I think Bacha had a poor performance defensively. And listen, both teams defensively could have done better, but going forward, it was a brilliant game, brilliant match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think what's next then? Who's got the edge in the second leg? I mean, I think Paris Saint-Germain have the edge, in my opinion, because going forward, like both teams going forward are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. But I just think Paris Saint-Germain have got that edge. Like defensively, they're more ruthless, in my opinion. Because if you look at Bayern Munich, I mean, they won a lot, but they had a great chance to make it 2-0 with Michael Olise. He had a great chance to make it 2-0, and he didn't do it. I think PSG had a chance as well from Ousmane Dembele where he should have scored as well. But like, both teams are great going forward, but I think like PSG have the edge in my opinion, because I think they're more ruthless in front of goal. And I think, you know, this second, for sure, the second leg is not going to end 0-0. That's for sure. It's not going to end 0-0. That's impossible, because you know, both teams will attack, both teams will go for it, both teams will try to score goals, both teams will go end to end, and both teams will try to outscore each other. You look at what Luis Enrique said after the game. He said if we want to qualify against Bayern Munich, minimum we have to score 3 goals at the Allianz Arena next week. Minimum 3. That's what he said. So it's going to be very critical how it plays out in the second leg, and I can't wait for the second leg. I mean, if this game produced the way it is, I mean, I really can't wait for the second leg, honestly. So I really can't wait, but I just think PSG have that little edge, because not only they're ahead, of course, but also I think like going forward they're absolutely amazing, and defensively, and also they can afford to get a draw at the Allianz Arena. They're not going to play for a draw, but I think it plays more. I think PSG have the advantage because they can do it. You know, they're ahead. Listen, But Bayern Munich could be also a little bit happy at the same time because they're still in the tie because they were losing 5-2 and they're still in the tie. But I think PSG, in my opinion, have got the edge in the second leg. But I really can't wait for the second leg because second leg will be an absolute cracker. This one was a cracker, and next week will for sure be a cracker as well. Let's move on to today's game.